Cool. So this is one that I have for you, Kevin, even though I know this isn't a surprise because I told you earlier.
Yeah.
So one of the really great things that Kevin was able to do with South Carolina with all these rinse and repeat activations is Kevin turned that into a sponsorship vehicle, whether it was like Chuck-a-Pucks brought to you by Culver's, or if it was special jerseys that benefited a specific nonprofit, to having a large group night that generated funds for that nonprofit beyond just a discounted ticket link. So I was going to let Kevin share some of his ideas of what they were doing in SoCo with y'all. I think a lot of y'all have heard me talk about, especially teams that are new, like going from 0 to 1. And once you've like established your dash activations, really taking it from like 1 to 2. What happens next? And this is that like 1 to 2. We've just taken our dash activations to a whole new level and turning it into a sponsorship vehicle that's easy to execute against. So yeah, Kevin, I'll let you kind of share your best practices.
Well, I think for hockey teams, I guess if there's baseball or basketball teams on here too, like Chuck-a-Puck is, the same as launch a ball, the same as, some kind of halftime activation. Most teams have it sponsored already, right? Like it's generally a very popular piece of inventory to get sponsored. But what about the data? Who's purchasing these Chuck-a-Pucks? How do we re-engage? How does a partner re-engage with the people who are buying Chuck-a-Puck or Launch a Ball? Every Monday, so you have a Friday, Saturday, Sunday game. That Monday, you can easily send that email. Thank you for participating in the Culver's Chuck-a-Puck, promotion to Stingrays. Hope you won. Whatever, nice, fun message, and retarget them as, here's a free cheeseburger, here's a free custard, here's a BOGO offer, something along those lines. So we've always had, or again, most teams will have that sponsorship, but here's a way to elevate it and increase that sponsorship investment if they have that ability to kind of be able to retarget them. We did, this was I think probably one of our, at the time, probably one of the better kind of ideas or promotions that we did. But, we were able to do raffles every game. Kind of towards the end of the season, you start running out of inventory. You don't have jerseys left over. You don't have, things to kind of raffle off. So we created 14 custom jerseys. It was the Rock the Red campaign. It benefited Salvation Army at the time. So we're able to kind of talk to Salvation Army and say, hey, every Friday night we're doing this raffle. We're going to, on average, we will raise $1,000, right? So we can estimate that you're going to receive, $6,000 to $7,000. Here's the partnership piece that comes into it, having a group night, a theme night, or something that kind of connects the dots. And, they end up having a full partnership with us where they advertise, and they had a wall and sign in the concourse because they knew that, hey, we're getting money back, and it was this whole kind of campaign. But in addition, you're able to tie a sponsor and a beneficiary to it. And it was a very custom jersey, 14 of them. So it's 1 out of 14. So it actually, became really popular and a very unique item. But in the Pride Night programming, this is kind of where again, like kind of talking with a lot of the teams and talking with Jonathan, it's these games that you just don't really know what to do. Rather than, Pride Night is a great example. You work with all these organizations and, they ask you the question, well, what are you doing to celebrate Pride? What are you doing to celebrate St. Patrick's, whatever the promotion is? And generally it's, well, we want to offer you discounted tickets. Here's a link to purchase discounted tickets. Okay, well, what else are you doing? Well, we'll give you a few announcements on the video board in a commercial or something like that. But it's really not engaging at all. So here, you're able to connect with these community partners, connect with these organizations by saying, hey, we're going to have these specialty jerseys. We're going to have, locker plates. We're going to have mini sticks. We're going to have all this kind of inventory that we're going to be able to engage with fans for this night for the Pride night, we had, I think it was only 14 jerseys that we did. It was our like, top players, some kind of Hall of Fame players, just kind of a mix throughout the, throughout our history. And we had, it generated almost, I think we donated close to $9,000 to this, to AFA, which is the Alliance for Full Acceptance. They had a blast, like it just connects the dots. It connects that activation. It connects kind of, people go into the game, they realize what the promotion is. I think you can do that with, again, you can do that with St. Patrick's Day. You can do that with the Veteran Appreciation Night. You can do that with Hispanic Heritage Night. And here are just kind of these elements and pieces that are super helpful.
Yeah.
And it probably was easily like, out of the, the time I was there, the 4 years we've had, was the most successful from a ticket sales, from a engagement, from a, just a night in general.
Yeah. I actually attended that game to go see how SoCo pulled all these crazy numbers that they always do. Prior to that game, there was like a little reception area. They had their group leader with a microphone. There was some popcorn there. They were telling fans like, here's how you buy, the Pride mini stick, the Pride puck. Here's how you bid on these jerseys. So visiting there, Kevin, the team's got their own suite, right? So they put their important people. So I was the last on the list. I made it in, but like all the leaders of the Pride group were in there, and they had never been to South Carolina Stingrays game. And like Kevin said, they were having a blast. They were talking about, we've got to come back and we've got to do it next year. Sat next to a lady who had never been to a hockey game, but she spent $1,000 on one of these jerseys because it was her favorite number. So I agree, like, it's more than just the discount link. Adding more assets and like seeing other people walk around with like a Pride mini stick around the concourse that night, like really helped to solidify it was Pride night on a Friday night when it wasn't an A game at all. It was like a B game. And it was fun. We had a blast. That group was fantastic. They'll be back next year for sure. There's no doubt about it.
It's hard to invest in some of these games where you don't always know exactly how's it on the team side of things. It's, again, if it's St. Patrick's Day, how much can you invest in, in St. Patrick's Day? You don't know. Is it generating ticket revenue? Is it generating sponsorship revenue? To do all this stuff. So a lot of the times that's where, again, you can lean on us and lean on Dash to say like, hey, I don't really have the budget to develop this promotion or this theme night or this cause related night. Lean on us because we can help activate it.